What up, Whiskey Thoughts and Whiskey Peeps? It's your boy Frankie P out here. Today I want to talk about a more serious subject, parenting. Where do you stand? Where are you at? What kind of parent are you? We all like to think that we're going to be the ideal parent and that we're going to raise our kids right. We're going to do... Man, I can't even... You guys ever watch Leave It to Beaver, Brady Bunch, all these like sitcoms from the 70s, 80s, even earlier than that? It's kind of ridiculous to me that people have this standardized thought process that this was the average American family. While we're out here trying to do what's right by our kids, teach them right from wrong, try to be the best of parents to the utmost of our ability. Sometimes we fall short. Sometimes, even though we fall short, we have to persevere. We have to keep moving forward, right? Myself personally, I'm not a perfect dad. 1 to 10, 10 being, Dad Brady, and 1 being, even the Munsters' dad was pretty cool. Herman Munster was pretty awesome. I guess, what's a good example of a bad dad? Oh, Ted Bundy. Stepdad of the year. Killing people. Okay, so we got Ted Bundy to Herman Munster. I'm not quite Herman Munster, but I'm definitely not Ted Bundy. I can tell you right now that along the way, I've made missteps, huge missteps. I moved from Massachusetts to Florida when my 2 daughters were very young. And regretfully, but gainfully, happy with the ultimate outcome of another end of the coin, but regretfully losing touch with the daughters. Sam and Kat are my 2 daughters from Massachusetts, and I miss them every day. I moved at a very volatile part of my life when I was very young, foolish, and having children with a woman of a Portuguese family. Everything that the father said was dictatorial. It was all what he wanted to do, and it didn't matter. Even though I'm a young father and I'm going to make mistakes and good decisions, which I ran a successful business and had the trust, passion, and support and complete, what's the word I'm looking for? Devotion as a boss by my employees. I fell short in another sense. I left Boston, and it was the hardest decision I ever made. And when I got to Florida, I moved to Florida, man, I was different state of mind, very fucked up, drinking, doing painkillers while drinking. Yeah, it was a fucked up time. Partying, just living life, just fucking not even realizing what I was doing wrong. And regretfully, I look back and say, fuck, what did I do? So, bad decision 1, moving away from the family. But then, the mother picked up her feet and family supported her, but that's how Portuguese families are. They all support each other interwovenly. So not a huge loss on her half. And, she found someone else and raised the girls, and I tried to become part of the girls' life. I mailed them often, and they never received the mail. It was a serious situation, a fucked up situation. So fast forward, Florida, 2 sons and a stepdaughter now. And I wouldn't even call it a stepdaughter because, from diapers, she was in my life. So 2 sons and a daughter here. I swear in front of my kids. I drink whiskey. I don't lie to them. Dad, what's in the cup? Whiskey. I think that hypocritical answers are disheartening and just wrong. Be honest with your kids. Is whiskey good? Well, no, it's not good for you. But it's something I do. It's a hobby. It's a habit. and not a good one to develop. So if I could suggest not to, I would say don't start this habit. And if you do start the habit, then know how to maintain it. But as a whiskey drinker, this or that or the other thing, what habit do we really maintain to a good level, right? Not very. My parents, growing up, were hugely dysfunctional. I'm pretty sure my mother was bipolar and possibly molested as a child. And my father was a cuck. He just sat there and let my mother do awful things to him, cheat multiple times in front of me. Oh, by the way, it's open hour. Yeah. My parents sucked. My dad would physically abuse me because my mother said so. And they're both shit parents. My father abused me so much to the point where it had to stop when I eventually slammed him into the wall and cracked all the way up the drywall. And then he told my mother, "You start hitting him." Because he was fearful that I would possibly hurt or whatever him. My mother was very dysfunctional, cheated on my father avidly, not just once or twice, avidly, and couldn't let go of her ex, and just a horrible family. Tried to divide me and my brother on a regular basis. And me and my brother are now closer than we've ever been. And the weird part is, it all happened when I stopped talking to my mother. My mother will inevitably die alone because she's a miserable person. And, I grew up with, I was drawing on a regular basis. Oh, you're a fag, you're a loser like your father, you're this or that. I wish I would die. I wish I never had you. I wish you would die. She'd even tell my brother, "I wish your dad and brother were dead." My brother was scarred by this, even though he was the favorite. But she came from a family where her 4 siblings were from another father, so her mother favored the 4 siblings and not her, and her father was the only thing she had for protection against the siblings. The family was very dysfunctional. My mother's very dysfunctional. My father was also dysfunctional for staying with that fucking train wreck of a person. And there's commitment to someone that you love and care about. Then there's just a lost cause to what you think you're going to help, but then you end up becoming that thing. He is just like her now. He is an absolute and total fucking travesty. And so I didn't want to be those things. My kids are honor roll every term of school. They do well. My other 2 daughters are collegiates, working hard. One's into veterinary studies. The other they're good. They're good girls. All these kids are successful, and it's all because of one major thing I noticed: the absence of their awful grandparents. My wife had a mother and father that were extremely intrusive. Not so much the father. He was actually quiet, but the mother was psychotic. She would take her SIM card out of her cell phone and then read all of our personal conversations while we were dating. These things are abnormal. There's a protection of your child, and then there's an overbearance of the way you're behaving. And at the time she was in her 20s, so it's like, do you really need to be stealing your kid's SIM card to read her private conversations with a complete stranger that doesn't want you reading their personal fucking shit? So, when you take these problems out of the equation, life tends to get better, I noticed. And some people have good upbringings. An ex of mine had a very good mother, still has a very good mother, and okay father. I won't even say okay, he was a shit dad, but the mother is what persevered and stayed by the father's side even though he was a failure, and made the family stick together. She was solid. So to Rosie, good job. You're a good woman. Keep it up. Keep being you. Keep being that guiding light and that shining force. The other thing was, my mother was a Catholic, but I'm pretty sure that she is a devil in people skin. Yeah, really weird. But anyway, beyond all that, what kind of parent do you want to be? What kind of parent are you? I'm in the middle. I'm around a 6. I give myself over 5 because I'm still learning. But I'm definitely not a fucking 1. And I'm definitely not a 10. I do support what my kids enjoy, even when sometimes I don't like it. And sometimes even when I don't like it, I'm like, yeah, none of that shit interests me. But go ahead and tell me about it. I'm very brutally honest with my kids. And if they love something, they're going to just ignore what I said anyway. They're like, well, Dad, we like it, so whatever. Fuck you. Listen, this is what we like. Blah, 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 blah. And they tell me about it anyway. That's what I love about my kids. They're honest to a respectful degree, due to their mothers, right? Their mothers teach them, well, your dad's an asshole. Be your dad, just not so much your dad, Be honest, but without the F word attached. So, my question to you is, what do you strive to achieve as a parent or a potential parent? Where do you want to be? What would you like to be? What do you want to be now? What are you now? Are you a good parent? You could be a good parent. You could be a fantastic parent now. You could be any one of these things. And I guess the ultimate goal is to raise people that won't fail society. I think I'm raising those people now. And even though there are faults with our own parents sometimes, thank goodness they showed us their faults so that we don't repeat that awful travesty, that awful history, and we can be our own people. But before I go, I can't end this video without a sip of that stuff. So, Whiskey Thoughts, Whiskey Peeps. Much love to y'all. Y'all trying to be single parents, dual parents, same-sex parents. I love y'all. Keep going. You doing the right thing. I got faith in you. You got faith in you. They need faith in you. Love y'all. Have a good one. Whiskey Thoughts, Frankie Pete. Share, like, subscribe. Much love.